Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. This one, we're going to be doing a video idea, another event idea for an event I think is very plausible for a future tapped out mini event. So this is the Twisted World of Marge, Simpson, or as I'm just going to call it, the Pretzel event. To simplify the title, because I hate the Simpsons episodes that have these huge titles, because then you just can't have that as the event title. It's kind of long. So this is the Pretzel event. So here it is. I think there's two really solid characters to add in this event. One has technically already appeared in Tapped Out in a form. It's not been a playable character, but he's not been a playable character. But I think he makes sense to be the prize. And you'll see him in a bit. And yeah, I think overall there's just a lot of buildings included in this episode, and there's a lot of like neat decorations and some. I kind of had some ideas for some animations as well, which I think could be really interesting to throw into the game. So let's go. First of all, so in the store, this is the premium content. For 30 donuts, you get this skin for Marge's station wagon, and Marge's station wagon is going to be a prize within the event, but I don't think having both of them, I don't know, it didn't really fit both of them being the prize, because you're going to get an animation and her station wagon, so I feel like the animation is the thing that you should get in the prize track. With the but with the skin, I think the skin makes sense to me to be premium, just because it's something extra, you know, than just the station wagon and the animation. And it gets actually a unique animation as well. So the animation basically depends on which skin is on the car. But basically there's going to be an animation when Marge drives around her station wagon, and depending on which skin you have on the station wagon when you trigger that task will be the sort of appearance of the car when it's driving around. So the animation that you include for so the skin works like that. Also is the Springfield War Memorial Stadium for 75 donuts. Now, this particular stadium isn't actually in the game technically. Now, there is another stadium. There's obviously just the Springfield Stadium, which looks very eerily similar, apart from this one's blue. The blue tinge on this one is a bit different to the one that we've got in the game currently, and they are technically two separate buildings. So there are two stadiums in Springfield. One's the War Memorial Stadium, and one is just the regular stadium. So I think they could add the War Memorial Stadium for 75 donuts. I think it's a fair price, and it is a really, you know, it could be a pretty cool building. Although I do find the stadium is very hard to decorate. And then the final premium item / combo is Frank Ormond with the Ormond House for 150 donuts. Now, Frank himself obviously is the guy who owned the pretzel business before he sold it to Marge. And his home is awesome. Look at this. It just looks so cool. All the little decorations outside. I think this could be really cool to get. And yeah, I just think it'd be really awesome. So you can have it would include all the little decorations in it, and it'd be another house that you can place in your town and you know, in your neighborhood. And yeah, it makes sense to add him with his home. He could come with the pretzel cart, but personally, I would prefer it if he came with his home. Anyway, let's get into the event quest line. So the event currency for this event is going to be pretzels. Of course, that makes the most sense. So to start, Marge notices that businesses are thriving once again, and she wants in. So you make Marge interview Apu for 6 seconds. Apu tells her his tricks, for example, him selling out-of-date food and stuff like that. So you make Marge, after she's done that, you make her interview Mo, and then Mo gives tips on about avoiding the health inspectors. Marge doesn't really find any of this advice very useful, but she decides to carry on nonetheless and start her own business. So Marge has no car, so she decides to go on foot. In the meantime, Luann, Agnes, and the other Fleet of Peter girls, obviously we've got the Fleet of Peter van in the game already, but the women who invested that, who's Luann, Agnes, Edna, Maud, and I think I'm missing one, but Helen. They decide to obviously help to relaunch their franchise. So they see Marge and decide to compete with her by relaunching their franchise. So you make Marge go door to door for 4 hours. I started putting the hours and then I just gave up, so ignore that. But you make Marge go door to door, make rivals set up their businesses, and after you've won 100 pretzels, you unlock Marge's station wagon. Of course, Frank is going to be included and he will an extra, so in the meantime you can make him sell pretzels, and he will act as a rivals, he'll be in the rival category. I like to try and, you know, sort of give like a term for the Springfielders that you're sending. So the Springfielders who will be included in this are the kind of the earlier ones you unlock in the game. So Apu, Flanders, you know, sort of people who own businesses. Mo will be one. Maybe Homer. Or maybe Homer could be like something else. Maybe he could have a special sort of task. Because all the characters have, like, sometimes they have different things. Like it will say different things, but you're sending them in the same sort of, you're sending them to earn the same sort of currency. But anyway, this will unlock Marge's station wagon. Who is it? Which is of course this car here. We've not actually got it in the game, and I think ages ago I made an event where I came up with a skin. It was for the little Pwog event, and I came up with a skin idea for her car. But I don't know. I just assumed her car was in the game, but it's actually not, which is quite surprising because it's seen in every opening scene in The Simpsons. It's seen in literally every episode, but we've never got it in the game. So I think it's the perfect first prize to kick this event off. Such a necessary decoration for us to get, so I think it'd be really, really cool. So, part 2, Marge now has a car, so she's able to get her orders to customers quicker. The Fleeter Girls, I know I spelled Fleeter wrong, but just ignore it. The Fleeter Girls they one up her by claiming that their vehicle is already in the game. Obviously the Fleeter van. Make Marge drive around, which will be an animation, obviously in her little station wagon. Make rivals, make their goods, and then you earn after you've earned 100 pretzels, you unlock the pretzel car, or the pretzel wagon as I should call it, which is here. So this will literally just be the wagon. Frank won't be behind it. It will just be the little tiny kind of wagon on wheels. Moving on, part 3, Marge gets a big break as she is able to sell to the school. So Skinner thinks they can take the taste of horse meat away from the meals, the school meals, with the pretzels, with the salt on the pretzels. So you make Marge sell to the school, make Skinner issue out pretzels, and then you make rivals start selling. So this, after you've earned 150 pretzels, you unlock the Springfield Elementary School Cafeteria Delivery Entrance, or it should just be called School Cafeteria Delivery Entrance. So this is a little kind of hut, like a little building behind Springfield Elementary. I really wish they added Lunch Lady Doris with this, but they never did. I planned to do a video talking about that, kind of adding both of them together, but of course they added away with the slaughterhouse, which, I mean, loosely made sense, but she'd never been seen in that building. She really should have been added with the Cafeteria Delivery Entrance, which is here, which you can't actually see on the Springfield Elementary in the game. So I think it makes sense to add this as a separate building, just as Willie's shack is a separate building in the bus. I know it's kind of different because it is technically connected to the school, but we don't actually see it connected fully to the school. So I don't know. I think they could get around. They could make sense. You know, this could make sense. So I think they should add this as a sort of separate building. So this will be a building. But anyway, moving on. So Quimby is quickly to announce that the business that makes the most money for Springfield will win an amazing car. Marge is eager, but the school is no longer a client. Someone else has got their business. Make Marge try to find more clients. Make Skinner accept shady goods, which will be a permanent task in the Cafeteria Delivery Entrance. Make rivals find bigger clients, and then after you've earned 150 pretzels, you will unlock the Astro wagon, the Pontiac Astro wagon, with an animation for Burns, but that animation won't technically kick in until it will be like unlocked until you've completed part 5, if that makes sense. But anyway, someone else earned more money than Marge, but it wasn't the Fleeter Girls. Marge wants to know who it is, so you make Marge investigate businesses, make rivals lose their cool, and then after you've earned 200 pretzels, you unlock the Fleeter stand, which is here, of course. So it'll literally just be this kind of stand with one of the Fleeter vans in the inside. This, I'm thinking, could possibly be a building, maybe a decoration. I don't know. I feel decoration is probably the best thing for it to be. It makes the most sense. But I kind of like, yeah, screw it. It's a decoration. So yeah, I do also want to make a joke on how the Pontiac Astro is a really shitty car, but Quimby promised it's an amazing car. That was something I forgot to put in, but there you go. Anyway, but then part 6, Burns is revealed to be the mysterious businessman. He stole Skinner's business and he won the Astro wagon. The rivals are upset and so is Marge, but she is still hopeful and wants to make a brand new business. Yeah, so Mr. Burns took away their thing with his nuclear power. And he was selling nuclear food to Skinner or something, I don't know. Anyway, so you make Marge search for new advice, make rivals sell their businesses, and you make Burns drive around, which will be the animation. He will literally be driving around in his little Astro around Springfield, waving as well. So we'll be in brand new animation for Burns. And then obviously after this is unlocked for 200 pretzels, you will unlock the Springfield Franchise Expo with Royce McClutchan. So yeah, now of course Royce McClutchan did appear in one of the level up screens. A lot of people, when it happened, a lot of people were commenting on it, going like, "Who's this?" Because obviously he wasn't, he's not a major character at all. He's in one episode, in one scene, in one episode. So a lot of people kind of were like, why is he the level up screen? Which is a very good point. Why was he the level up screen? I'm pretty sure that actually there was a reason. I think I found a reason, but I forgot what the reason was. But there was a reason. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, I think maybe it's time to get Royce finally in the game. I mean, he's in the level up screen, so why not add him as a character? And I think this event could be perfect to add him. So yeah, so here are the tasks for the 2 characters we will get. So you have, for Frank, you have spin a pretzel for 60 minutes. It will be him spinning a pretzel on his finger. Make pretzels for 4 hours. It will be in his house. Negotiate turf for 6 hours. This will be in the legitimate business club or association, whatever it's called. Run the pretzel stand for 8 hours. This will be another animation, and it will be on his pretzel stand. Find insects for 12 hours. Him finding insects in his ingredients bag. Another animation. I've gone a bit crazy. I've given him 3 animations. We'll see if that's plausible. I know that there are characters who have more than 2, but a lot of them are extra money. So maybe if you want, justify an extra 5 donuts for the damn extra animation. But and then finally, make pretzel tutorial for 24 hours. This will also be in his house. Then you have Royce McClutchan. Try to sell businesses for 60 minutes. This will be an animation, and it will be on the Springfield Franchise Expo stand, so it'll just be him standing. Create new businesses for 4 hours. Pitch ideas for 8 hours. Give money-making skills for 12 hours. Will be an animation of him just kind of doing this crazy sort of presentation. And then file for bankruptcy for 24 hours. I'm not sure what that could be. Where would you file bankruptcy? A bank, I guess? I don't know, the banks aren't really non-premium items, are they? Oh well, it could be somewhere. Maybe in his stand. It could just be in his stand. Anyway, so I got some character quest lines for you. So we've got McClutchan is the name, ... Oh, I forgot to say that the quest line for this is Salted Marge, because she's salty about losing business. McClutchan is the name. Royce arrives back in Springfield with so many thriving businesses around. He wants to make money, so decides to make his own. Create new businesses. Well, it should obviously be that. He creates a business that comes up with business ideas. That's his business idea. A business that comes up with business ideas. Mo is intrigued but wants to hear more. Pitch ideas. So you make Royce pitch ideas, which you'll do in the convention center. That's where the pitch ideas comes in. Mo is on board but can only buy 50% of the business. Royce must find another buyer. Try to so you make him try to sell business, which is obviously the animation. Cletus is convinced to buy the other half but can't afford all of it. Royce is so desperate to sell his business he lowers the price. So you give money making skills to it's an animation for Royce. And then finally, Cletus and Mo get rich from the business, but Royce finds the money he sold it has grown thin. So you finally have them file for bankruptcy. And then you have Pretzels from Heaven. Frank is back from heaven and decides it, because of course Frank died in the episode, so he has to be revived. Frank is back from heaven and decides it's time to revamp his pretzel company. Pretzels are God's favourite, apparently. So you have him make pretzels. Frank begins to grab the attention of customers. His new heavenly pretzels are on the rise. Run the pretzel stand. Fat Tony comes along and says he can't sell on his turf, so you have Frank negotiate turf. Frank is unable to sell anywhere and decides to make pretzels for himself and his friends, but he has no friends, and there's insects everywhere. So you make Frank find insects in his ingredients bag. Despite the insects, Frank manages to make the perfect heavenly pretzel. Proud of himself, he decides to rest up his company and make pretzels just for himself. So you make him spin a pretzel. And then I've got a few here. So I feel like with the Springfield cafeteria entrance, it's kind of already the task with Skinner in the questline kind of covers that. So I don't think that needs its own questline. But the Fleet of Peter wasn't really touched on, so I gave the Fleet of Peter its own sort of questline. So the Fleet announcement, or a Fleet announcement. Fleet of Peter launches and attracts many gluttons, so you make gluttons line up, and then the Fleet of Peter business is up and ready, and Helen starts to panic. Luann tries to calm it down, so you make the Fleet of Peter owners sell food, and you got to have 4 of them sell food. So you got to have Edna, Marge, Agnes, and Helen, and Luann. But you only need to have 4 of them to do it, and everyone has at least 4. Anyway. We've got the Pretzel wagon. So Marge has a proper advertisement, and decides to deliver in style. Make Marge pack the pretzel wagon. Customers phone up demanding their pretzels, so you make Marge deliver pretzels, which will be her driving around, obviously. Snack games. So you have the games kick off, and Homer is watching, excited for the Isotopes to win. Make Homer cheer for his team. The team screws up and loses, so Homer is mad, so you make Homer chuck food onto the players. Yeah, so that's it. That is the event overall. I think this definitely could be a really interesting event. There's 2 really good buildings. I think Springfield Memorial Stadium and Frank Orman's house is really cool. Maybe we could swap the Memorial Stadium for the cafeteria delivery entrance. Just the questline I did, kind of, it made sense for the delivery entrance to be a prize and not the Memorial Stadium, because it was kind of difficult to fit that in with the sort of questline I was going for. Yeah, but I think Frank Holman's house and the Springfield Memorial Stadium are definitely 2 solid buildings. I think Frank and Royce are 2 solid characters as well. I think they're both funny, quite unique and quirky in their own right. And also Marge's station wagon is such a necessary decoration that they need to add. So I think, I don't often praise decorations too much because they're not normally they mean nothing to me. But I think with the station wagon, would definitely be really awesome to get in the game. The rest isn't too great. I'm not a massive fan of these kind of stands. So the Fleet of Peter stand and the Springfield Franchise Expo, I wouldn't be too buzzed about them. I wouldn't be too keen on them, but I mean, they're there and they're in the episode, so I feel like they may as well add them, and it sort of pads out the quest, pads out the prizes. But yeah, that is it for the event. So tell me your thoughts on this event. Do you think it could be a cool event or not? Any improvements, please do tell me. And then any more episodes that you think would be really perfect for a mini event, please do tell me. And if you got any major event, like multi-event or major event ideas, please do leave them in the description. I'd be interested to hear. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me your thoughts on this event idea, as I said, and I shall see you next one. Goodbye.